fact that we're going live. We're unmuted. We're unmuted. We're doing a sound check.
We're doing a sound check. Well, I'm very excited to be going live in 2 hours and 22.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes 22 seconds.
Your first live stream, isn't it?
My first ever live stream. Yeah.
Everything's beeping on the boat.
We have something beeping on the boat, so what could possibly go wrong?
We got good sound? Oh, you're running 2 streams, so that's all right. All right. Just more saying. Yep. This is why we're here. Who have we got? Great channel, great content. Nice. So that's good. So this is Paul's first live stream.
My first ever live stream, yeah.
First live stream.
So be gentle on me.
In 48 seconds. Here we go. This is him. This is him.
Okay. Drinking water.
Drinking water, that's the one.
Get that out of the screen.
How we got? 16 watching. Dropping off a little bit. All right, I'm going to hand over to you in just a moment. And then we'll get out of here.
Okay. So I knew what you're going to take the boat out, and I'll. Okay.
Audio works. Thank you, Lovdo. Good to know. All right. We'll see if these viewers start punching up. 2. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And Mr. Paul Bradbury.
Hello and welcome to Croatia, and our first edition of the show, Croatia 2024: Where to Go and What to Do. This is a new online series that I'll be doing every week or so throughout the season. My name is Paul Bradbury. I'm a fat Brit who moved to Croatia 22 years ago, and I've been very, very privileged to live in this beautiful country for that time. And I've been writing about tourism now for about 12 years or so. And what I've noticed about tourism is that there is so much here, so many different personalities, so many different parts of Croatia that sometimes go a little bit less discovered and explained. And so the idea of the show is to meet with local experts and personalities from different sectors and different destinations to go and really take a deeper look into Croatia. And so today we're in the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Trogir in Dalmatia, just above Split. It's one of the 10 UNESCO World Heritage Sites that Croatia has. And we're here on a boat with Nick Hathaway from 45 Degrees Sailing. Nick is somebody I've known for many, many years, and he runs an extremely successful and wonderful boutique sailing business called 45 Degrees Sailing. And so today we are going to be looking at the issue of sailing in Croatia, which is one of the most exciting sort of tourism things that people do here. And Nick has been doing this now for, I think, 7 years or so.
Yeah, this will be the 8th year in Croatia, so I'm loving it.
Yeah, and Nick's from New Zealand. He's got quite a story, him and his wife Mahina, and they're now here in Trogir. But we'll be talking a lot about different aspects of sailing. Nick's going to now take us out onto the Adriatic, and we'll have a little bit of a chat with him as we're going around. Today we're talking about sailing. In general, we're going to be talking about different destinations. Everybody's probably heard of places like Dubrovnik, Rovinj, Split, Zadar. But also there's a lot more stuff in Croatia, in continental Croatia, places like Slavonia, Međimurje, and Zagorje, as well as the capital, Zagreb. And so we'll be going around the country, talking to different people in different destinations, as well as looking at some of the different aspects of Croatia. This is a country which is very, very famous for its wine. It has over 130 indigenous varieties, and in the vineyards behind me, just in the hills above Trogir and Castella, one of those varieties is called Seget Castellansky, which is better known in California as Zinfandel. So the original Zinfandel came from Croatia, and the wine scene in Croatia is an extremely interesting one, and I'll be talking to Nick a little bit about that, because we have several islands here that have a number of grape varieties, for example, that only grow on those particular islands. And so as we go around today, we'll be talking a little bit about the different islands that are on offer. It's a country of rich culture and heritage. There are no less than 10 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Croatia. It's also a destination of extreme natural beauty. And we have more than 10% of Croatia is given over to national parks and nature parks. And the most famous of which is the Plitvice Lakes, which is a World UNESCO Heritage Site since 1979, as well as Krka National Park as well. It's a city. It's a destination of great sporting tradition, and you'll have obviously heard about the World Cup in 2018 when Croatia lost in the final to Russia. But if you come around, this is a country of handball, of basketball, of water polo, and so we'll be looking at that as well during our time. A little bit about myself. I moved here in 2003, bought a house in Jelsa on the island of Hvar. I've been living here I've lived 13 years in Jelsa, then moved to Varaždin, and now I live in Zagreb, the capital, for the last 3 years or so. And I run a news portal called Total Croatian News, which is probably the biggest English language news portal for Croatia. I also run a YouTube channel called Paul Bradbury Croatia Expert, where I write a lot about life where I talk a lot about life in Croatia, as well as different guides and different destinations. And over the next few months, I'll also be doing a lot of videos on there. And I'm also on TikTok. It's a new thing for me at the age of 55, but I was encouraged to try that, and so today going live is the next step in my boomer journey of being an online media person in 2024. So we're now in the harbour in just outside Trogir, and Nick is
Seget.
In Seget. Sorry, I'll see.
Just outside Trogir.
Outside. We can see across there. We can see the Trogir itself, and Nick has now just sent out a group of people that he's picked up from the airport. They're out sailing, and now he's going to take us out, and then he's going to sit down and talk to us a little bit about sailing in Croatia.
Absolutely. And I mean, we can talk now, that's all right. All the hard stuff's done.
Okay.
Someone else cleaned the boat.
So what's the plan, Nick?
The plan is we're just going to drift out downwind a little bit right now, but effectively we're just going to head out of the marina here and drop anchor in the harbour here at Trogir, at Seget, catch the sunset, and hang out on this beautiful yacht.
Nice. Tell us about the yacht, first of all.
Oh, I love this yacht. I want to buy this yacht. This is the Hansa 548. It's a 2019 Hansa 548. I was the first one. I peeled the plastic off this boat.
Okay.
When it first came into charter in 2019, we were the first week to actually sail it, and I've loved it ever since. But this is 55 feet long. She's got a 4-cabin layout. So when we do our premium tours on this boat, we take maximum 6 guests plus my wife and I on board, and we sail. She's fast, she's fun, and we like her. We love her.
Excellent. And so tell us a little bit about like your most popular sort of tours. Then you operate more or less out of the Split region.
Yeah, so we live here in Trogir, so we're based in effectively based out of Marina Baltic in Trogir. We started in Split Centre when we were first in Croatia and doing trips out of Marina Castella. We moved to Castella now. It's 2 years and probably coming up the 3rd year in Trogir, and we love it. The boat moved here, so I had to move with it.
Okay.
And we mainly now, we're actually dealing much more as an agent for charter.
Okay.
We found this huge hole in the system where you've got these hundreds and thousands of agents that will rent you boats from an app or something like this and everything, but a lot of them do not know the boats. They do not know the areas. They do not know the ins and outs of exactly what's going to happen on that boat or anything. So we found ourselves in a position where we were helping people charter boats. So that's where we've sort of moved into. So we run a maximum of 6 weeks of our premium tours in a year.
Okay.
And the rest of it is private training, bareboat charter, itinerary planning, bareboat assist for new skippers, all of these types of things.
Okay. Take us through one of your luxury tours.
Ooh, okay. One of our luxury tours. Well, we'd leave very similar to this.
Yeah.
We'd leave from Trogir on a Saturday afternoon, somewhere around 3 o'clock, and we often head out somewhere close by, whether it's going to be the island of Sholta or Adriatic, or depending on what time we've got away or what people are after. We very much personalize a trip into what it is those people are after. What are they looking for? Are they vineyards, and are they wineries? Are they cliff jumping and rock climbing? Are they swimming? Are they relaxing? Are they sailing? Because this is a holiday on a sailing yacht.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a sailing holiday. It doesn't necessarily mean we want to be sailing all the time. So it's a very different thing with different guests. So we would head out, and a typical day would sort of be, right, up in the morning, and we sort of discussed it early, we'll probably get into that later, up in the morning, then off somewhere where it's nice and calm and pristine. Everyone can wake up and have their coffee and swim and have breakfast on board. We cater as well to breakfast and lunch. Dinners are ashore. And then we'll move on to another destination, sailing if the wind's there, of course, and have more swimming, because people just love to swim over here in the summer because it's hot and it's nice. And then afternoons, especially if we're in an off sense, the afternoons are better if the wind. Okay, so like today it was calm all morning because there was no system running around here. Yeah. And now that we're into the afternoon, we've got a little bit of sea breeze coming up, so these afternoons are better for sail. We'll sail to another destination where people can check out either an old town or a special type of cove that's got a restaurant in it or something like this, okay, and enjoy that night. I mean, it sounds pretty basic, but that's it. Yeah. That's what cruising is wake up, where are we going to have breakfast? Great. Let's sail somewhere. Where are we going to have lunch? Let's sail there. Great. We have a swim, maybe a sleep. Where do we want to have dinner? Let's sail there. That's what a cruising holiday it should be about, I think.
One of the things when we were talking, which kind of surprised me a little bit, because I'm not really into sailing, as you know, is that the perception is that Split to Dubrovnik would be a wonderful sailing holiday. You start in Split, you end up in Dubrovnik, and this is not a route that you do anymore yourself. Can you sort of tell us why and dispel a few myths about that?
Yes, I can. So, a little bit of background on that. We showed up here in first I came to Croatia in 2015. We showed up here in 2016 to work for another company, and they were doing Split to Dubrovnik itineraries. All right, so that's fine. Like I actually designed the itinerary with the guy. Yeah. And we did it, and we ran that. We ran that for 155 days straight. Okay. I kind of wince when I say that. Wow. 155 days straight, going from Split to Dubrovnik, with a couple of caveats, and then we did a couple of return split weeks for Ultra and things. Yeah. But it was designed to hit the hot spots and get around, and all of that.
Tick.
So tick off the thing. The thing about that was, if you want to do that, and if you want to get through all of those spots, you've got to keep moving every single day. If you don't move, then you're behind schedule. Now, that doesn't matter what the weather is. You've got to keep going if you want to hit that schedule. So it gets a little bit taxing, and we found that a lot of guests by Thursday and coming into Friday, they needed a holiday to recover from their holiday. Right. Okay, especially if you're not used to sailing. Like being out here, just existing on a boat when you're not used to it is you're using different muscles. You're flexing this way, that way, and all the things. So that's a real unknown point about it. not to mention that the magic, one of the reasons I fell in love with Croatia, with Dalmatia, is the lifestyle. It's the pomalo, it's the the slowly enjoying time. And I've always loved sailing because you use the wind to sail, and you're not burning diesel. This must hit destinations, must get to this spot, then this spot, then this spot, especially the run between like Vezkva and Korčula. It's 30 plus miles. So you've just got to keep going. So you just end up creating this community of diesel burning. And I can't tell you how many yachts I see all the time out there that are just driving around.
So they're not even sailing.
Not even sailing,
Right,
because it's the wrong direction. The wind's not right.
Okay.
So we really pulled our itinerary back to only be split to Dubrovnik if we're doing a 2-week sail. Okay.
Right.
So over 2 weeks, it's a fantastic itinerary. I love it. But we're not all able to do 2 weeks.
Sure.
Time off, money, all these sorts of things. So we started doing this Trogir or split Castella return, which meant we could go with the weather.
Okay.
We could interact with everything as we wanted to, and change our plans based on the weather. And that's meant we could stay in spots in the mornings. You could have coffee on the river. You could do all of these things that the brochure shows. Swimming, it was hilarious because if you were moving and moving and moving and moving,
there's just no time to
it's
enjoy
like, hey, we're going to stop for a swim. Okay, get out of the water. We got to go.
Right.
I'll just adjust our course. You carry on.
Okay. So really, with you, it's with you, it's really about lifestyle. So almost it's like just go, come on the boat and then leave it to me and I'll take you around.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the whole idea is that you get to relax. You don't have to worry about the logistics. You unpack once.
Okay, that's a huge thing.
This is big. So it's like whenever you take a trip to another country or whatever, you say you stay in a hotel and you're like, 2 nights in Barcelona, pack your bags, unpack your bags. Then we're going to go to here, unpack your bags. All of that. So you're unpacking and moving all the time. Whereas you get on the boat, you unpack once, and then you just sit back. And if you're not in the mood to party, to drink, to sightsee, to do whatever that day, your cabin just comes with you. All right? The shade is here. You're taken care of. You have breakfast or don't have breakfast. You have coffee, you don't have coffee. It's all sorted out. So the floating holiday, the unpack once is it's huge. And I absolutely love that about the trip.
What about with families and small kids?
Love it. That's what we designed for. So if we get 2 inquiries on the same week and it's like, hey, 6 adults, we want to go to Fartown. Well, actually, this is irrelevant. We wouldn't go anyway. But 6 adults versus, okay, we're a couple and we've got 3 kids. My wife is just going to say,
kids.
Out on the other one, we're taking the kids. 45 degree sailing was always born towards families and people that were not necessarily as comfortable. And having kids on the boat is just so cool, like so amazing. It's a shame to miss out on it. And a lot of people miss out on that because they're worried, understandably. If you've got kids, you're unfamiliar territory, and this is where you've got to sell to mum. You've got to look after mum because she's the one who's going to have to take care of most of things in this way of the kids. So being able to relax, have some people that understand what it's like to have kids on board, to be able to make it safe, to be able to make it fun, to take a bit of that pressure off. That's what we just naturally went into, right? Mahina and I, we're both big on kids, and it's just, so kids on board is the best. It's the best thing ever, I think. I absolutely love it.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between. So, if you come out of Split, you've got the islands of Sholta, Hvar, Brač, Vis, I guess Korčula, and that's a very popular sort of thing to do, like a week-long trip. And then you've also got, if you go further north, you've got the Kornati Islands, which are also very famous for their sailing. They're a lot more barren. I mean, they're beautiful. What are the different? Like, talk about the expectations of guests. I mean, what are the main differences that you find in terms of the sailing experience?
Okay. I'm gonna have to drive the boat as well. I'm just gonna. Okay, hang on. So this is a great time to say this. We've actually got another package that we use called Bareboat Assist. I just have to go do some bareboat assisting on that. So someone's just got a question, so I'm going to ask that now. Answer that now while you carry on. all right? And I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, so so Nick also runs this concierge service where you have various people sailing and they can call him with information anytime. He's just been taken out there on a call, so he'll be back in a little bit. But just to say that from if you're starting out from Split, we have 4 major islands in front of Split: Sholta, Brač, Hvar, and Vis. And these are the premier islands of central Dalmatia. And this is where a lot of the tourism is for islands in Croatia, and also for sailing. And so if you go to Hvar, which is probably the best known island in Croatia, it's very, very great for sailing around the Pakleni Islands, which are a collection of islands just in front of Hvar town. It's also known as a big nightlife place in Hvar town itself, which is the main destination. But also, if you go to places like Starigrad or Jelsa, these are smaller towns within Hvar, and they have a much more relaxed vibe, and they're also very, very geared up for sailing. And so, depending on the experience you want to have, even on islands like Hvar, you can have a very, very different experience.
I'm just going to drop anchor. You're good.
Okay, so we're dropping anchor now. I know that Nick will tell us a little bit more, but he always likes to start on the island of Sholta, where there is a very nice boutique hotel there, which only has about 7 or 8 rooms, I think, and that's where they always anchor on the first night. And then if you go to somewhere like Vis, this is a little bit further away from Split. It was actually a completely closed island to foreigners until 1991. It's a military island, and there are some military tunnels inside, and there's also a submarine base there. And this is something that you can go and explore, and it's very, very timeless. It's where Mamma Mia 2 was filmed as well. And then you have the island of Brač, which is the closest one by ferry. It takes about 50 minutes. And this is the tallest island in Croatia. Also very, very famous for its Brač stone, which is what makes Diocletian's palace in Split, and some say part of the White House in Washington come from Brač stone. But it's also very, very famous for its olives, and it has the World Championships of olive picking in Trogir. And so these are 4 very different islands. They all have their own individual grape varieties indigenous to the islands. And so this is a place that, if you're into your food and your wine, going around all the different towns and little bays and the secrets that Nick won't tell me about, because there are some restaurants there that he takes his guests and he wants to keep it fairly secret. There's even a wine tasting inside a cave on the south side of Hvar. Yeah, so
gosh, there's enough people spilled those beans so far.
Yeah, I heard about it 12 years ago. I actually haven't been yet still.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh my God.
But the guy who does it, Miro, the Slovakian, he actually won in a blind tasting. His wine actually beat all the others.
He's won it. Every time I go back, I feel like he's won it again. He's won it at least 4 times.
Yeah.
And it really is. It like, aside from being one of the best glasses of wine, personally, for me and my wife, we love it. Yeah. Aside from that, it's such an experience what he's built there. It's such the word unique gets chucked around like this is one of the most unique things. It's more unique than my premium tours.
That's pretty unique.
I'll take that. So sorry, you were asking about some islands and stuff. What was that?
Well, I was saying, like, just give an overview of the difference between doing the sort of islands around Split, like Brač versus Kornati, because they're both very, very different landscapes, and from the sailing experience and what facilities on the islands and so on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, definitely, like, if you're planning a 7-day, because charters run Saturday to Saturday, right? If you're planning a 7-day holiday, we have got a lot of comments to go back and see. Someone else is going to have to sift through those. You have? Okay, great. Thank you for everyone who's commenting. There's over 30 comments, and there seems to be conversations going on. That's great. As much as I can do a lot of things at once, I can't do all of that. Anyway, so when you're picking that 7-day holiday, 1, with our whole, slow travel feel and everything that we're encouraging people to do, and 2, not wanting to rush your crew and all that sort of thing. Really, if you're coming from Split, say, or the Split area, Kaštela, Trogir, a Split, you've got to make a choice between call it the southern route, which is exactly what you're saying, Brač, Hvar, Vis, maybe Korčula. I still think it's too far in a 7-day, depending on what you're after. Yeah. And then going north into the Kornati and the Zadar archipelago.
Okay, engine has just shut down on Michelle.
Oh,
Engine just shut down. We'll give you a call.
okay. I'm going to have to go again in a moment.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, like you've got to choose one way or the other, because if you try and do 7 days and get to Vis and the south of Croatia and get up to the Coordinati and try and get up to Teleščica National Park, you're going to be doing a lot of miles. Now, if you're a sailing people, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, if you're a sailing people, if you're down to do these miles and do that, but that's a lot of time under the sun. It's a lot of time moving around. And then, of course, you're missing out on a lot of the other stuff that's going on. So I tend to say, right, choose this or choose this. Definitely the southern route, if you're wanting these old towns, Starigrad, Kut, Komiža, this history, this vibe, this buzz on the islands, the southern route is where that's at. Okay, once you get into the Coordinati, as you said before, it's more barren, beautiful, pristine, but more barren. Okay, you're provisioning for longer. You are possibly anchoring out more, less docks to go on. There's like 1 or 2 marinas in the Coordinati at the most, you know. So that's really what you've got to make a decision on. Right. All right, I've got to go for a moment. Set you up on this. Yeah. Do you want to ask Anna some questions?
Come and jump in.
Well,
that's all right. So Nick's had one of his charters. The engine's broken. This is Anna, Nick's mother-in-law, who's
thanks.
Not business partner. Anyway, jumping in. So tell us first, what's the problem with Nick? What's he got to look after now?
So this is our Beerboat Assist program. We basically have 24/7 access to Nick during your week's charter.
Okay.
And we have just sent a family out, and they've got a yacht problem. So Nick has to sort that out quite quickly, because they're supposed to be somewhere, not sitting in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, excellent. Well, welcome to the show. It's nice of you to...
This isn't one I don't think you can just kind of jump in and out of. So, yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
Tell us about, because it's very much a family business. Just tell us a little about 45 and the makeup of it. And
It's very much family business, as you know, Paul. And I think that's the key to it. But because we're a family of travellers, and we come from New Zealand, where everywhere we go, you have to travel.
Yeah.
And we like nice things, and we like to travel a certain way. So I think we're kind of we have the same wavelength as many travellers today, or we're targeting the kind of travellers that we love to be. Okay. We target people who want to be treated like we like to be treated. Okay. And we take people to places that we like to see and experience, and places that we love to go. Okay. So I think that's the key to it. We don't just have a job. Yeah. No, it's a passion for sure. This is what we want to do. Yeah. Now, I can't say my passion is for sailing, but my passion is definitely for great hotels, restaurants, the actual places you can go sailing. Okay. And then Nick's passion being sailing, he then adds that side of it. So I think with Mahina's passion for children and families, then we just bring it all together. Yeah. And I think we have a pretty unique type of package to offer everyone.
Fantastic. So, tell us a little bit about some of your favourite places then.
My favourite places, so first straight comes to my head is Maslenica. Okay. So that's one of the first places the kids took us to when we first came here. So Maslenica is just a beautiful little marina.
On shoulder.
On shoulder, although mainly we sail in winter, so that's a big difference. Okay. We don't usually sail in summer because that's when we work. But Maslenica is just a beautiful place. I love to just sit there. The marina's clean. Everything is just pristine. The water's pristine. There's beach bar there. There's beautiful restaurants there. And I just like Nick talked about the Pomalo. It's just a beautiful place to sit and watch people take in the sun, the sea, and everything. So that would be number one for me. Our little secret number one spot in Sholta, the other side of Sholta. Okay. That we love to pop over from Trogir to Necharam. Okay. For a restaurant, that's one of our favourite restaurants, just hands down. And Vrboska. Okay. I'm going to say that's probably my top three. Okay. Yeah, with Treats Garden as a restaurant, again a very small town pier. Yep. That we can just park up at and people watch, because we just love to sit, drink gin, and people watch. Yeah. What about like busier places like Town? I mean, is that something you kind of avoid because it's just too busy, or it's not really your vibe? It's not really our vibe in summer. Right. In winter, definitely. Again, we have Hidden House. We go and spend some time at Hidden House with in Stargard. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, in Stargard and on VAR, and we like VAR. I think in off season.
Okay.
And Vartown for us, I think, is a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
But we're not a people we're not people
Yeah.
in that sense. So yeah. So it's just too busy for us in summer.
Okay.
Yeah. So and we like to tell anyone visiting to kind of come in, get a feel of it, look at it on the yacht, but then kind of go and stay at the Pakini Islands or go stay somewhere a bit quieter. And you can always get a water taxi in to enjoy the nightlife. Or if some want to enjoy the nightlife, they can. But you can just park yourself up somewhere just out of it and still enjoy it.
Okay. Now you've been in Croatia what, 5-6 years?
Yeah, coming up 5 years.
5 years. Yeah. So what is it about Croatia that's keeping you here?
Number one would be family.
Okay.
And number two, I think it's like home. So I very much think Croatia is like New Zealand.
Okay.
Water, sun, the people. I think our Māori heritage, Croatian heritage is very similar.
Okay.
I think the way we do things here is a lot slower. Like Nick says, it's slowed down. So, but in New Zealand, I think it's similar too.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think we've got all the basics that New Zealand has, but we're in Europe.
Okay.
New Zealand, you have to fly 24 hours to get anywhere. Whereas here, we still have this beautiful surrounding, but like we're in France, or we can be in Italy. We can be anywhere we want within a few hours drive.
Sure. So
that's kind of a key for me. That we're able to travel, but still have a family feeling at home.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I think that's for me.
And you say that you prefer sailing in sort of out of season, the winter sort of time. Tell us a little bit about the sort of season and the different sailing throughout the year on the Adriatic here.
Well, for us, so like my experience of sailing in New Zealand is cold. I don't think I've ever sailed in New Zealand when it was warm, because it's never warm in New Zealand when we sail. So being here, I think sailing in winter is better than sailing in winter in New Zealand. So it's well, you don't have tides, you don't have the open sea that we have in New Zealand. It's still, I feel very safe sailing here anytime, and that could be because totally trust him on the yacht, but you don't have the open sea here. We're not sailing like we are in New Zealand, and so that feels very safe. It all feels very safe. It all feels very, I think, like where we're sitting now, to me, is like the lake.
Yeah,
it's not like the sea.
Because you got, I guess all the islands are protecting, aren't they? So it kind of feels that way.
Yeah. So it's just a very different feeling here, and it's very safe and very fun. Can you take your space back now?
No, you're fine. She's much better than you.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to sail.
You can have this back, and he can ask you good questions. Did we sort it?
We will. You've just left the magnet behind. That's right. Find it
somewhere.
And so
that's okay. That's okay.
So we were starting to talk a little bit about the seasonal nature of sailing here. Now you're a big advocate of winter sailing.
I love winter sailing.
And
in Croatia.
And so like January last year, or January 2022, wasn't it?
January every year.
Every year, but you did this. You did this 7-day solo trip from here, from Castello or Trogir.
Castello at the time.
All the way to Lastovo and back. And how many boats did you see on the water? That's
excluding the last day. 2 fishing boats. That was it.
Wow.
No sailing yachts whatsoever, apart from ones that were parked up for the winter. It was absolutely fantastic. And I had cold weather. Like, Anna went swimming.
Yeah.
Okay, it was cold, but not cold enough that I wouldn't go in again.
Yeah.
Cold enough that I swim for a minute or 2, 3, whatever, and then get out and enjoy the fact that it was beautiful. It was. I think I've got some. I can try and let's see if I've got this set up enough to be able to play some of these shots here. This one. There we go.
Okay.
That was me drinking my coffee and doing
this is January.
This was January 22. These are all mixed ups actually. I'm just realizing now, but this was part of our flotilla, and this was January. This was all of it. So I'll find the January ones. Where's that? Got to skip through. This was all into the January trip. Wow. Okay, so we got some weather.
Yeah.
But I think this one was here we go. So this was on Lastovo, and this was January. And I swam It was great. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. And I went back in. There's proof. There's just no one around, and there's still inhabitants on the island. It's not like they shut it down. So I would cruise around. I had some contacts in and around the islands that wanted to, you know, they were there, and they're like, "What? You're coming now? What are you talking about next year?" No, I'm coming now. Okay. I got meals. I got a place to stop and to fill my water or put some power on or whatever. It was very warming. Obviously, there's a relationship there because I'm sending guests and I'm bringing guests, and you know, through the years, I don't expect someone to come in for the first time in the winter and be able to go and do the trip I did. And at the same time, I want to head that way. I want to get that way to build this network of people that might want to come in and say, "Hey, 45, I heard we can sail in the winter. Who's got the boats? What contacts can we use?" And we just set something up because, oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing. And it looked like this. It just looked, winter in Croatia looks like this. I'll get a lot of backlash from a number of locals on that one, but it does. Now, if you want to query that, I took one of our rainiest winters, last winter, the winter before, and I did 60 days of weather in Croatia. And I did a video every single day with the forecast, the actual conditions, and what it was. And it was not raining most of the time. It was about 30% not good weather. And days where it was forecast to pour with rain, it did for about 2 hours or an hour. And then it turns into this. So I had some trips where I was bitingly cold. Like it was, I mean, I left at 4 a.m., but it was freezing. You know, it was really cold. And then it warmed up. And you have heaters on boats. You know, a lot of the boats around here have heaters and stuff like that. So like someone just said, you fall in love with Croatia very quickly. Let's put that one in. You fall in love with Croatia very quickly. Just want to go to Kornati and put the anchor down and relax. I couldn't agree more. It's that is you, and you can fall in love 100% and feeling like you're going slow. This is why it is actually a really cool destination for cruisers that understand the place, like liveaboards. Whereas liveaboards that need to stay on a dock all the time and marinas, it's expensive. It is, and marinas are expensive in Croatia. There is no one's trying to hide this. All right, the facilities are also very good. You can. I don't believe comparing Croatia with Greece is where we're at. Because they're two different animals. They're two different loves. Like Greece, I haven't sailed Greece. I've talked to a lot of people who have. I'm going to head there next season, probably like that. But what I've gleaned from it all is very cheap. Okay, cheap to dock, €7 a night, €20 a night, fancy, whatever, you know, cheap. Whereas we're paying 120 to 200, depending on where you are and what part of the season. So yeah, it's expensive here. Food is apparently a bit cheaper, but there's also not the same amount of facilities. And there's not the same amount of space and shelter, okay? You don't get the same experience in the towns. There are some places, and the islands are far apart. And that's true, the kind of the general consensus is there's either no wind or there's 30 knots. So, you know, like they're different animals. They really are. And if you come to Croatia and you're expecting to do it, then okay, you can take my power. You just have to ask. It's not going to reach. She's stealing my laptop power. If you come to Croatia and expecting it to be Greece, you'll be disappointed. 100% you'll be disappointed. You'll be like, oh my God, I paid so much for all this. And if you want to go to the Riva and Hvar or Split and buy meals, you're going to pay the same prices as you are in Sydney, Australia, or in San Fran, whatever. You're going to pay high tourist area prices. I get a sandwich for lunch in Karstella for €4.50, and it's a meal that I shouldn't finish. I certainly do. But so yeah, it's you fall in love with it very quickly, and once you learn a bit more about it, which is where we're going with the channel. I suppose that's another thing I'll lead into is the new channel we're looking at creating. It's where we're going to be able to educate people on this and how they can do it in a sustainable way. It's
Well, let's talk about your YouTube channel, because you've got this great channel, 45 Degrees Sailing. Which maybe there's a link somewhere, I don't know. But tell us about how that started and what you've done with it, and where it is now, and what you want to do with it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna since I bothered to set it up, I'm gonna run the cutscene for that just because I can. Here we go. So our YouTube channel that was just our little cutscene for it, so you recognize it when you hear it or see it. Our channel is about, what is our channel about? It started as a vlog of when we arrived in Croatia, okay? And I was like, hey, I'm going to do this vlogging. Single only regret in my life was not starting my vlog earlier when I lived in China and all sorts of stuff. Like, oh my God, I was scared of it, whatever. Started the vlog, and then it developed into where it started growing, developed into yacht reviews. And I reviewed a Hunter 455, and the channel went, okay, we're up to our first 1,000 subscribers. We're climbing. Wow. And that was really, really cool. And from there, it's just grown and grown and grown until 2022 or 2022, we just started going up. We're close on 20,000 subscribers now.
Fantastic.
Which is great. The channel is mainly popular for its educational side. Our Sharpen Up series, I'm not wearing my Sharpen Up series right now, but our educational side of Sharpen Up videos, which is designed around maneuvering yachts in and around Croatia. How to do stern to with slime lines or mooring lines, lazy lines, anchoring with lines to the shore, docking in heavier winds, docking in crosswinds, leaving the dock. All of these bits and pieces that people find very challenging. And it's different in Croatia. This is different. So it's very popular for that and for my very blunt and honest reviews of yachts.
Great, which I'm sure are appreciated. Yeah.
It seems to have gone down pretty well. Okay. Yeah. So that's the channel. And we recently put out to all of our viewers to say, hey, we did a live video to say, what do you think we should do? We want to put out more destination videos to educate people around places and where you can go, even inland Croatia, because it's incredible, and information about travel, because that is a huge part of what we do as an agency. We don't just book your yacht, say, here's the paperwork, thank you very much, go to Marina Karstella. We are working with people all through their process and their travel, their accommodation, their provisioning, their itinerary, and not here's a stock standard itinerary. Like I do an hour-and-a-half call on with people that want to do itinerary planning. I charge for this because it takes a lot of our time, and we personalize the whole thing. So all of that, we're starting a new channel for all of these destinations, and the viewers said, no, keep 45-degree sailing as sailing, please, please. So that's what we're doing. We're going to keep it as sailing, and we're going to start a new channel for which is probably going to be 45D travel. I don't know. It's something like it doesn't really matter. Just simple that people will be able to watch and see those extra locations. It's not there to make money. It's just there to be able to give people information on stuff. Okay. So that's our channel.
Excellent.
And I'd love to hit 20,000 subscribers.
Could happen tonight. You never know.
That's the one. That's the one.
Tell us about some of your favourite destinations, favourite places to sail to.
Oh, I hate saying this because it's so cliched, but it's not for the same reason. I love Hvar Island. Okay. I absolutely love Hvar Island, but I never go to Hvar Town.
Not Hvar Town,
There's so much on that island. It's just like the south side versus the north side. The rock climbing, the food, the wineries, the cliffs. There's just so much there, and I spend a lot of time on there because it's kind of the epicenter of Middle Dalmatia. And there's a couple of our favorite spots on there for sure that I'm not necessarily going to share with everyone, but like it's hard to do an itinerary plan for people and not send them to Stardigrad. Because if they didn't know about it, by the time they're there, they love it. They want to go back next time. It's just such a cool place. And hilariously, Mahina and I both, when we first started in Croatia, we didn't like it.
Oh, really?
Didn't like Stardigrad. 2016, 17, we didn't like Stardigrad, and we actively avoided it. I'm not sure if they did work. I think what happened is we got to know the people.
Right.
We got to know a bunch of people there and started, and now it's like it's a staple of ours. We love it. But towns like that just have a really nice vibe, and it's cool to go back and see the people and stay.
It's a very deep bay, isn't it?
It's a deep, and it's a great great stronghold for the bad weather. Like if there's a heavy border or if there's a strong Hugo, the southeast northeast winds, then it's a great place to be. And what's so great about it is if you end up there for a couple of days, which happens if it's really bad weather, mainly because it's not because you can't sail in the weather. It's because if we leave, there's nowhere else to go into because the ports all get jammed up. So, but it's a great stepping off point if people are landlocked. Then they can take a taxi to Hvar Town. They can go to the Stardigrad Plains. They can whatever, go and visit different places. So I love that. I'm just going to start listing islands though. Miet, fantastic place. Lastovo, love it. Less people out there. So clear on the water.
Nobody goes. I mean, it's so far away, Lastovo, isn't it? Yeah, but
like 10%, 15% of the charterers will get to Lastovo.
Wow.
I mean, it's not that far, but you've got to plan. You've got to plan to be there. And if you get there and then you've got to get back and you're fighting the sea breeze or the northwest or something, you've got the wrong weather pattern, then that becomes tough. So but these like south side of Vis is just beautiful. You've got, and this is one of the reasons I find the shoulder seasons and the off season so amazing, because Steneva Bay, one of the top 10 most famous beaches in the world, right? Absolutely amazing. Do I want to go there in July and August? No way couldn't pay me. All right, because everyone wants to go there, understandably, but I don't want to be in that. I like being there when I'm the only boat there, or at least one of a handful. Okay, so these spots in the shoulder seasons are just so precious, and I think because of this, September's become one of the most popular months now. Because it's a little bit cheaper. Charter companies gotten onto this, and it's not as cheap anymore, but it's a little bit cheaper. The weather's calmed down from 35s and 40s, and it's sitting around 30-degree days and cooler nights, so the air conditioning isn't so important.
When does the season start and finish then?
My season starts on the 1st of January, finishes on the 31st of December. The season...
For everybody else?
You'd call it... You could say 1st of April, I think. But not really. Like, 1st of May is when more of the... Like, there's Carnival, there's restaurants that's still not open now. Because they don't get the flow of people necessarily. And the weather could go, and it could be like this, or it could not. So really, 1st of May, I think, is about your banking point for the start of the season. But definitely, there's a lot of charter boats out this week. Like half of Baltich is gone, the marina. So there must be 150 charter boats.
Right. Wow.
Or whatever, 75 at least of them have left the marina yesterday.
Just from here.
Just from here. And then there's ACI Trogir. So there's boats out there for sure. Absolutely for sure. So season starts then and it finishes. You can pretty much bank on it's finished on the 1st of October.
Right.
And some places.
And October's beautiful here.
Stunning. And it is a gamble. All right. It's a gamble. Can you just check on the status of that? Yes, they're sending someone out. So someone on their way right now.
Fixing boats live.
Fixing boats live. So 1st of October, pretty much that's when a lot of places are shut down. And I run my Sharpen Up flotilla in October. There's still places open. Okay, so the season has been extending, and someone might argue, hey, end of October is actually the end of season. I would argue that too, 100%. But from the main, it's 1st of October. So first thingy to 1st of October. Pine Tree Dalmatia apartment. Is it Paul Bradbury?
No, somebody else.
Are you Paul? Or is that Paul?
I can be today.
You can be today. It is Paul Bradbury in the flesh. First live stream in ever.
Yeah.
Apart from when you spoke on conferences that I was doing live streams for.
Yeah.
But it wasn't your live stream.
It wasn't my live stream.
But that was live, so taking that away. Cool. I'm just waiting for seeing, I'm waiting, the speedboat from our assistants will be coming out past here in about 3 minutes, and they'll be buzzing right around to help out from the charter company to help out the guys that have just had an issue.
Are you staging this just to promote yours?
100%. I threw out some line. I'd had it hanging out. I've just figured out what it might be. Tell them to check the line from the dinghy. Just say, Nick says, check the line from the dinghy isn't hanging in the water. I saw that, but someone was talking and I didn't want to miss it. Stage that so that once they got 2 hours out, they would get locked up so I could put this on the
Tell us about the service, though, because you started it last year.
Last year was the first launch of this service. So it's called Bareboat Assist, but I think the name needs work. But I mean, when you charter a boat, you say it's a bareboat charter, so it means it doesn't have a skipper and a crew. It's a bareboat, so you have a license and you skipper it. Now, there's a lot of first-time skippers out there that haven't chartered. They might have sailed a fair bit before, come down crossings, all sorts of miles, but not necessarily been the skipper in that position before. And this is actually extended to more than just those ones. But the Bareboat Assist is like the next best thing to having a skipper on board. Okay, you've got a direct line to me, and I will interrupt my live stream to answer your phone call, 100%, as you've seen. Direct line to me and our team here at 45 Degree Sailing. So effectively, we have an open line of communication. So anything they need to know or they have a question about, no matter what big, small question it is, we're here for that. Because half of it as a new skipper or as a new charterer is the nervousness that, am I making the right choice? Sure. Okay, should I be doing this? Or, is this right? I've read the weather. This is how I interpret it. Am I on the right page? So a lot of it is confirmation of that. And then there's the itinerary planning and the assistance of knowing when to get to what ports, what direction to sail on this day, where's Yacht Week going to be?
Just to avoid, right.
Where's Yacht Week going to be so I can avoid it? all of these things is really important. So the bareboat assist is all designed around that. So I'll do weather updates with them every day if they want them, less if they don't, but I'm always there to make sure that everyone's got what they need. Paul's Tow Crash News says the sound is bad. The sound is bad, please speak louder. Heidi has said that. The sound is bad, please speak louder. I mean, we can work on speaking louder. I can turn the volume up. Let's just double check. No, I mean, everything's right on our end, Heidi, and our YouTube is reporting good sound. Someone else said the sound is perfect, they just have accents.
Or if you're having problems, then go to 45 Degrees Sailing YouTube channel, because it's live there and it's working perfectly.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. If you're having issues, go to the 45 Degrees Sailing YouTube channel. So, yeah, that service. I had no idea how popular it was going to be.
I can imagine it must be huge. Yeah.
It was so, I only take a maximum of 3 of these every week.
Right.
Okay, so because I can't just keep making reservations for everyone all over the place, otherwise I won't be able to give the same service.
Yeah.
And if I have 2 of these calls at once or 3 of these calls at once, I need to be able to do exactly what I've said I'm going to do. So it's only 3. It's limited to 3 a week, and I actually prefer to limit it to 2, especially when I'm out on. Well, actually, it doesn't make a difference. It's better when I'm out on the water because I'm close and I can see it all locally. Yeah. And it was very much a service born out of the fact that I'm not wanting to spend 100% of my season on the water. I've got a daughter now, and I want to be home for her. And a skipper's job in the season is tough like that. You're home Friday night maybe, and that's it, and then you're gone. So very much born out of that, to be home, to spend time with wife and baby, and then it just got really popular, and it became such a good learning aspect for new skippers to be able to go, okay, good, I'm making these decisions. This is how it goes. They can call me up and say, Nick, I'm leaving from Marcelinsa, and I'm going to sail to Vez. This is the wind I'm measuring, blah, blah, blah. How many reefs should I put in? Where should I be trimming my sail? They can video call me. The coverage is so good on the internet in Croatia. They can video call, and I can troubleshoot sail trim. I can troubleshoot anchor issues. I can troubleshoot where do I park my boat? All of these things. And we're working on getting this up into something where we actually have a web app which has got track locations where we can get data streaming in, so we can really help people with all aspects of this. Because it's really, I even had a seasoned skipper. He's done more miles than me. He's done, absolutely. He called me up and he says, Nick, this is great. He knows how much preparation and research and all this stuff goes into planning a week in a new place. And he was like, take my money. This is great. I made reservations for him. The team made restaurant reservations for him. They just got on the boat and drove it. He didn't need help about how to drive his boat. He was wanted, Nick's watching the weather, Nick's doing this. This is great. And I didn't realize the market was there for those people as well.
I'm sure, yeah. But the message coming across talking to you is like, it's the preparation, and it's the passion, and it's the local knowledge and the attention to detail, which and that's a premium product, and I think you should do super well with it.
Yeah, for sure. I got a couple of my these guys, a couple of my regulars on board. These two, David and Blair, on every live stream are having this little conversation about every stream is how's the weather in Scotland. Oh, they're talking about flotilla now.
They want to know about the flotilla.
I know the flotilla. The flotilla talks on Tuesday. This is this one. All right. So our Sharpen Up flotilla is going out. This is another thing we do. The Sharpen Up flotilla. There it is. There's the support boat. Tell them it's on its way.
Look at this.
Boom. It's actually the same speedboat we use in our flotilla. We tow this speedboat Zorro. It's got 175 horsepower Yamaha on it. It's way too big for what I want to do with it, but I tow it behind this yacht. And I need a slightly smaller one. So if anyone's got I need a medium-sized rib with a center drive console, about a 50 horsepower. If anyone's out there, I need that for my flotilla weeks. I will rent it. I just need a good one. Anyway, the Sharpen Up flotilla, this started as we had guests that were coming through 45. They were sailing with us for a holiday, and they were like, hey, I'm a keen sailor, I'd like to learn. They come back to a training week. I don't give out qualifications. Go to a school, go somewhere to get your license, then come to me and I'll teach you how to boat. All right. And they said, I'd love to do this, but I'm a bit nervous. So this is where Bareboat Assistant Flotilla all was born out of. So I said, okay, I'll offer this up. We do our premium tours. You can charter a boat alongside us and follow our route. and have this bareboat service, this assistance service the whole time, so that you can follow. If you want to deviate from it, that's your call. You've chartered the boat, you're responsible. But we're there every step of the way. So in the event that it is 40 knots and we're all in trouble and everything, and they've got to dock the boat and they're just a bit too, that's hard. Then I can park our boat, they can chill out in the bay, and I'll come out and I'll get on board with them, and I'll assist them to do it, either through coaching them through it, helping them with it, or just do it for them if it's that day. And that safety blanket is what the Bareboat Assist is about. The Sharpen Up Flotilla was born out of this because people want, what we've seen, what I understand, people want to come sailing in these beautiful locations. And you have flotillas like, what's the most popular one? Sail. No. Moorings. Is it moorings? No, there's another one. Anyway, there's a very popular flotilla that they started the whole flotilla thing. So maybe it was moorings, whatever. But you would get on a flotilla, and you would have a lead skipper and a couple of crew, and you'd be with 10 or 12 other boats, and you would drive your sailing boat, boom, 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 go to the location. The skipper would come out, jump on, park your boat for you, and then boom, 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 you park them all, and you go have a beer. You would learn something in between. Of course, you get the experience, but you are effectively on a follow my flag tour, right? And it's a spot to organize fun. Cool, great, helpful, excellent. We wanted to take that. Sunsail. No, is it sun? Yeah, sunsail. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, thanks, babe. We wanted to take that and go, okay, how about if we did that, charged 7 times the amount with better boats? Not 7 times. It's a gross overstatement, because I want people to know that if they're going to come and do this with us, it costs money. And reduce that number from anywhere up to 20 boats to 4.
Okay.
So that you get actual, I was going to say screen time, one-on-one time with that instructor, with the crew. We can really assist into doing this. Not do the maneuver once. Get to these, whatever, and pick up a mooring ball 5 times. Everyone on the crew can try it, okay? Let's do this maneuver and follow the videos that we've made, and we're going to practice this. I can cruise around and I can coach people on it, and they can get this. So you're still doing a sailing holiday, still going to the locations, learning about Croatia, getting introduced to our spots, our people, all this sort of stuff, and you are learning and doing it yourself. You've got that one-on-one time with us. You've got the experience and the safety blanket, and it's fun. And we can do that. So we have different levels of our flotilla, and this is not an actual thing. It's just something that we go, okay, this flotilla, we've got X, Y, Z couples or families, all right, this is going to be, and this is where we set our level. This is what we're going to do. And we might have, okay, actually, these are all returning. This is a big, everyone in October flotilla, bar one couple, is returning. They're doing another flotilla. So, okay, we're going to step that one up.
Nice.
And we're going to go maybe a little bit more distance or whatever. So we built that whole thing around experience learning. People learn better when they're relaxed.
Yep.
So go and get your ticket, go RYA, wherever it is, ICC, and get your ticket, and then come to us, and we're going to help you be confident to be able to take your family out. And then you can go on the Bareboat Assist if you want. That's, So
you're going...
And yeah, good call, Anna. Anna's always prompted me. Anna's absolutely great in this. She's saying community.
Yep.
The Sharpen Up, I would love to see how many people say, just yell out Sharpen Up on your comments. If you're watching and you know about the Sharpen Up and you're part of the Sharpen Up community, just throw that out in the comments. I want to see how many come out, because the community of that is so good. And we've got people returning, and just sharing knowledge and helping out on the videos. There's more comments from our community on the videos helping other people than there are from me, I think. Yeah, just not right now.
No, I think that community thing you're building really, really nicely, actually, and that's an excellent job. Tell me, so when I first came here in 2002, sailing was a thing, but it wasn't really a huge thing, and it seems to have exploded in the last number of years. How has it been on the Adriatic in terms of traffic since you came 6 years ago and today?
COVID ruined that statistic.
Right.
Even though actually COVID year was quite busy. So basically Croatia became the new Turkey, right? Because Turkey was the hot destination and all that, and it was cheap and all these things, and then the unrest. So then Croatia became the new Turkey. When I was, I don't feel like it's that much busier. If you talk to the ports, there was good numbers. Like there was 2,000 less boats through Stadigrad in 2022 than there was in 2019.
2,000 less.
Less. 2019 was a record year for Croatia and yachts and tourism. So yes, it has gotten busier for sure. More places have opened, more mooring balls have gone in, more concessions have been given out for certain areas to close off bays to protect the sea life, as we all know why I'm putting that in inverted commas. Prices have risen. When you look at the price rise, it's mainly inflation. Right. If you do the calculation, take inflation out, like prices have gone up about 6%, 5% a year, right, which is kind of normal. Yeah. Everything costs more. Yeah. All right, putting mooring blocks down costs more, fuel costs more, all this sort of stuff. So yes, it has gotten busier, but now it's also starting to spread out. Okay. April is busier than it ever was. Okay, September is busier than it was. October is busier than it was. July and August to July and August. Yeah. It's kind of similar. And actually, the bookings. A lot of people have said to me, and this doesn't reflect in our bookings, which is a shame for those others. A lot of people have said that this is a really hard year for booking. I'm run off my feet. Yeah. Like we are chock-a-block. I'm not taking. I think I've got 1 week left that I can take another week that I'm sailing, and we've got a lot of charters going. That's great, but we've done a lot of work on that community, as you said. A lot of people have said that charter companies are struggling. So especially for August, it was July and August bookings, because the curve of cost is massive. Yeah. Okay. You pay double the price in peak as you do to shoulder. So I think it's spread out more. Yeah, there is a lack of marina infrastructure in Croatia, I think. In some of the main areas. Like the reason Artsy Parmigiana can charge such ridiculous prices because they're the only thing there. Yeah. And they can take 100 and whatever boats. So they're the only thing there. And they know they're right next to Wha Town. They're going to get it. Yeah. So I don't begrudge them for it. Whatever. And all those high quality marinas that said they were going to come and they wanted to invest in, I'm not here to talk about that story, but we know that story. Okay, they got jumped through hoops and all sorts of thing, and so they left and they went to Montenegro. You know, so that's what you get.
It's amazing with me with Montenegro because Tivat was a village, a small town of like 12,000 people, I think. Yeah. And now when you come out of Dubrovnik Airport, you see the sign "Turn right for Dubrovnik" and then turn left for Tivat. Yeah. And it's not even it's a smaller town than Herceg-Novi, which is before it. Yeah. But
now it's and Porto Montenegro. Oh my gosh, it's just. It's Gucci Prada everywhere.
Absolutely,
it's crazy.
All of it.
Yeah, and it's such a stark contrast outside the walls, Tivat, to inside the walls, Porto. It's.
But I went there in January last year. Yeah. I had a choice of 10 different cuisines in January, like Chinese, Japanese, Indian, whatever type. Yeah. And I don't think there's a single place on the Croatian coast in the city where you can get 10 different cuisines in season. Yeah, yeah. And this is 12 months a year, so it was definitely a missed opportunity.
Yeah, there's actually David's on the stream, and we went down there for a yacht consult visit. Another thing we do is we help people buy yachts from a distance or whatever, a consult on them. Went down there for that, and we ate at the same place 3 times. So good, so good. But no, it's cool. But it's a shame because they were working so hard on it, but they just do not have the coast. Croatia's got this amazing. It's just incredible. It's
and islands. They've only got 7 islands.
Yeah. That's it. And so I love what I said too. I remember 2019, so many boats were booked out to the end of October. It was really busy. Right. Tracy Stark says, where are they right now? This is, we just come out of Marina Baltic. We're sitting in front of Seget, actually, in one of our restaurants that we go to quite often. Frankie is just in here. It's a lovely view. So we're just sitting out on anchorage just outside Seget and Trogir. So no, it was cool. David's comment, SRB. We'll leave that one out. That's not a story for this time.
And some tips for people coming first time sailing to Croatia?
First time sailing to Croatia, rock shoes. There's no sand here. If anyone tells you it's a sandy beach, it's not. It's all rock. I know Zlatni Rat on the drone shot looks like a sandy beach. It's not. It's not. It's rocks. Okay, so get rock shoes because you might swim to the shore and put a shoreline or something like this, and it's very sharp. So just having rock shoes. But first time to Croatia, I think slow travel is that thing. You know, it's and get information. Someone asked me what's the best like pilot book or guidebook for sailing in Croatia, and I'd love someone else to come up with a good answer because I don't think there is. I don't use one. I've created my own, and it's what we use with our itinerary planning. And For example, I was like, okay, I'm going to pull out the Adriatic pilot. And I pulled it up and looked at a number of the places we were going, and the information was either A, outdated, or B, just really sparse.
Right.
So I would say, actually, a lot of our videos are helpful on this. I want to create more because there's not enough out there. But we have some tips and tricks and a whole live stream that Anna and I did about chartering in Croatia and the hidden costs.
Yep.
What I want people to come away with a really good taste in their mouth about Croatia, because the food's excellent, the stuff is all so beautiful, and if we can get on top of these little bugbears that frustrate people, then we can make it even better.
Yep.
Okay, and understanding the culture, and one of our favorite things about Croatia is the fact that the Croatians are so blunt, and everyone says, "Oh my God, the customer service was so bad." When you dig into it and you find out what they mean, it's like, our most common one is you go to a cafe or something like that, or a restaurant, and they say, "Hi, yes, do you have X? Okay, do you have colour and milk?" And the waitress or the waiter will say, "No." You know why they say no? Because they don't have colour and milk. And they're not necessarily all about going, "Oh, I'm not sure we have this, but why don't you try this option here? And maybe you could think about this. We do have this other thing that's completely unrelated." This is how we taught to do customer service. And the Croatians say no. And they get a bad rep because of it. I love it. I think it's brilliant. But understanding the culture, understanding that they're blunt but hearts of gold, that's really important. And all these hidden costs and charters. If you're chartering and sailing in Croatia, this is why we want help people with their charters. And understanding that there's a commission built in. I don't know, this is public knowledge, doesn't have to be hidden. There's a commission built into every charter, okay? And whether that's X% or X% or whatever it is, depends on the agreement, whatever. So wherever you get your boat from, whether you get it direct or you get it from an agent, you're paying a similar price. Unless that's a big high agent that's cutting prices hard and they're undercutting us, that's fine. If that's what you're after, don't come to us. We're not the cheapest.
Yep.
But understanding that, so if you charter through us, we're out there to bat for you. The whole thing is I want to demystify all of these costs and make sure that you get the right boat. Like, I know this boat better than the owner. Okay, so I can sell it to people better than the owner. It's 2019. I would charter it over 2024 boats any day. All right, and we just did. All right, so I know many of the charter companies, the boats and things. I've sailed a bunch of them, all of this. So we're on the ground here. We understand what's going on, and we explained this to someone else as well. We got an inquiry for a catamaran last year, and I was like, "Oh, that charter company. Okay, I'm not sure." And it says, and all the specs on the boat look great, and the price was okay. And it's like, I'm going to go see it. So we just went over there. I can do that because we're here. We went over in the winter. I saw the boat. I got on the boat. I checked it out. No way. All right. That boat, it had that bad smell that wasn't bad yet, but as soon as you start using the boat, it's going to be bad. So there's these little things that other agents can't necessarily do or don't care to do.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the job. So demystifying all this, having the understanding of what you're chartering and what to expect, manage expectations. All right.
Yeah.
Under promise, over deliver. Yeah. So the tip is just get good advice. Get good advice, and I will help you with that as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. Any other tips, Mrs. Anna?
Don't come and expect what you have at home.
Don't come and expect what you have at home. Yeah, like
a lot of people want.
Yeah, and you don't come to Split to eat Chinese food. Okay, don't come to Croatia to get Mexican. Although I do agree that there's a couple of great places that do Mexican now. That's great, but you don't. That's not what they do. One of the amazing reasons about living here all season around is understanding what is seasonal.
Yep.
Okay, we eat seasonal food here. There's less imported stuff here, which means the food's actually better.
Yeah.
So when people arrive and like, oh, I'd really love to get some kimchi, it's like, well, you can't. You do realize that that's imported from wherever and it's not growing here in this season. So don't expect what you have at home, and there are places that can cater for your gluten-free, for your lactose intolerant, for all these things.
That's really improved the last few years.
Yeah. And we're, as you said, like going to Montenegro and having 7 different cuisines, we're like, oh my God. And when the first Thai food came to Kostela, everyone was just like, yeah, something different. But yeah, don't expect what you get at home. Yeah, that's a good one.
Excellent. Lots of comments. Do we have any questions?
There's a bunch of comments. There's a lot of comments. Okay. There's just a lot of comments. I'll see if there's any questions in there. When we go in April, we usually let's put this one on. When we go in April, usually ACI Marina Pesquera is half closed. A chef comes from an island, private chef to you. Okay, that's cool. Not really a question. David's been sailing around the Coordinati for the last month, has only used the Webasto a handful of times. So that's the heater on board. So we're saying about temperature, and we had a cold snap last week. It dropped down, and I wore my hoodie again. It was great. We really missed out on winter this year. Lovro said during the day it's not cold at all. During the night you're running the heating system. Yeah, in the winter. That's how it goes. Yeah. It's just like that. So look, if anyone has any questions for Paul or me or Anna, then please drop them in the comments now, and we will review these. Tracy's just said, as a former vegan, now a fish eater. Okay, I thought he was just going to say now a meat eater again. I can attest to that, as in that there are much better options these days. Yeah. So yeah, if you've got questions, if you want to know anything about what Paul's series is going to be about sailing here in Croatia, that's 100% the time to do it right now. And yeah, this has been nice. 72. We've been going an hour and a half.
Really?
That's not bad. And look at where we're sitting.
Yeah.
So this is Seget Donji. No, this is just Seget. Was it Seget Donji? Seget Donji. What does Donji mean again? Lower? Lower. Yeah. So Seget lower and Seget Gordoni is up over the hill, isn't it? Yeah. So this is Seget Donji. And it's just down from Marina Baltic. Often this is missed out. So if you're in Marina Baltic, and everyone goes to Trogir for dinner, which makes sense. But if you walk 5 minutes out of the marina this way, there's about 3 or 4 pretty good restaurants that are sitting down here, and the setting is gorgeous. Yeah. Look at it, and they're open. Frankie is open. It was open all winter, which was it's just a mate. Barba, a restaurant Barba. That's one of our staples, and it's a walk just behind the marina, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Yeah. That's great.
What's it like in Trogir in the winter?
It's amazing. There's no one there. Except all the roadworks. No, they really ripped up the streets this season. Trogir in the winter, the cafes on the river are open. The sun is shining. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love this about Croatia. They come out and they be in there. And if they have to wrap up, they'll wrap up. Yeah. Just like in COVID when they shut down all the cafes. So what do? They brought coffee from home and sat on the river.
Crazy.
Trogir in the winter, much less open, obviously. Not obviously, much less open, and enough. Like you don't have to. If you were here for a week, you could eat at a different restaurant every night. Okay. There is enough open. The supermarkets are open. Right. There's even walking tours going on around the place, doing the history and things. The Advent, Christmassy stuff, all that. Yeah, that's all right. It's not really my thing, so I don't go down much. But Trogir in the winter is lovely, and we haven't had time this season, but we usually swim all year round. Okay. We did the Karstella Swim Club. Shout out to Michael Freer and the team and the Karstella Swim Club. We would swim once every week, all through the year. Yeah. Only once did we think we were going to die. Okay. And it was border. The water was somewhere around 9 degrees, and the wind was about 30 knots. Yeah. The puddles were frozen. It was snowing. Yeah. That was one of those times. And we came, and the water was fine. The water was fine. We came out of the water, and I parked the van like on the beach. The 30 meters up the stones to the ban was absolute pain on the wind. It was incredible. And Michael jumped into my van and got the entire thing saltwater wet. Anyway, but it was, and we have it on video. It's on one of my vlogs, actually. Yeah. It's on one of my vlogs. Nice, we got a question. All right. Commenting on what he said about himself at the beginning. Paul, don't call yourself a boomer. You're a Gen X like me. Don't sell yourself old. Oh. Are you a Gen X?
I thought boomers were the 60s.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
You're Gen X. He said so. Believe it.
Well, all right.
Tracy knows, man. Trust Tracy. He sailed with me.
All right.
Last sail, Tracy came on with me. We came from Stadigrad on Aaron's boat with Chris with Adam Halen, and we sailed back in about 40 knots. And we pushed Nootka, the Bavaria 46, harder than I think she's ever been pushed. And we did this massive jibe coming into the split gates. We're doing about 13 and a half knots. Wow. And it was so cool. That was great fun. That was with Tracy. Well done, Tracy. You did well then. He was very happy to get off the boat. You said you were 55.
I am 50. Yeah, I was born in 1969.
69.
I thought boomers was born in the 60s.
I don't know. I was born in the 80s. What am I?
I don't know.
I don't know. Tracy, what am I? I was born in the 80s. I almost flipped the boat. You did not. You don't know what that's like. I don't think we even hit 45 degrees. But yeah, there was a lot of water on the rail. David asked a question. David, with the number of visitors, there is surely an impact on the marine environment. Yeah. What can charterers do to minimize their impact? I love that question, David. Thank you so much. So 100%. And it's charterers themselves. It's actually more charter companies and their cleaners. Okay, when you come, it's heartbreaking to come down to the marinas and see them all cleaning, and you know the chemicals that are going into the marina because they're using all the stuff to clean off all the mess. Charterers, you could be a bit tidier with your boats maybe, and just keep stuff clean. If it gets really dirty, clean it off that night if you can, or just scrub it off so that they don't have to use a hard chemical after it's baked in the sun. We partner with a, can I mention another thing? Yeah, of course. We partner with a company that we really believe in here called Nature Safe Marine, and they are creating 100% biodegradable products, like 100% biodegradable, and they're not hurting the marine environment at all. And we are stocking those. If you get provisioning from us, if you charter from us, we're encouraging you to do this. We're encouraging charter companies to use this, because that's where the real problem will lie, is because that's the most cleaning that happens. But using eco-friendly products like your body wash and hand soaps, dishwashing liquid, all of this stuff, using that on the boats is what's good. Following the rules of toilets, you know, and making sure that you're well offshore when you're dumping your black tanks, and just use less plastic. The plastic's one of the worst things, is because the provisioning, we've worked on this idea called the Fresh Box. We tried to start this provisioning company in and around COVID and things. Another thing that flopped because of COVID. We'll come back eventually. But it was we hooked up with all of the local OPAGAR, the local what do we call that in English? Agritourism places that were providing stuff here, and they would provide stuff not in plastic, and you know, maybe some plastic when things need to be really vacuum sealed. But we were getting it fresh from the grower here in Croatia, and it was coming, and we're getting it onto the boats, and that had so much less waste. And we would take glass jars that would get sterilized, and stuff would go in glass jars. You give the jars back at the end of the week to reduce all this plastic. That's what you can do, is just work on buying stuff that's local and fresh and not packaged as much. It's crazy. And water bottles. You can drink the water in Croatia.
Yeah.
This is filled up from the tap. I don't buy water. It's good, actually. You can drink the water in Croatia. If you get a good charter company that cleans the tanks, that sorts it out, you can drink the water out of the tanks. If you don't get a good charter company, sometimes tank water just doesn't taste good. Then buy 2 6-litre bottles of water and then refill them at the marina. The water is absolutely fine. So I saw it yesterday, and it broke my heart. All of the plastic bottles that went on to the boat trip flotilla, 30, 40 boats that went out yesterday, there must have been 1,000 plastic water bottles. Little ones. What the actual, do I have a big, yeah, just like absolute crazy. So please, reusable water bottles, buy a reusable water bottle, bring it here and use that. Drink water out of the tap or refill them from the marina, and don't buy 1,000 plastic bottles. That is, it's killing the place. It really is. That's what you can do. Yeah, that's what you can do. We've got another question coming up. How do I get rid of this one? Tracy Stark, do you recommend any particular 5-day competent crew or equivalent programs here? I finally got off my bum and sat my Yachtmaster exam, which I should have done ages ago. And I did it with White Wake Sailing School in Primošten, which is actually in Kremik, but everyone in Kremik likes to say they're in Primošten because Primošten's a much nicer name and a much nicer place. And they were great. All right, I dealt with the lead instructor there, Franco, and then we had a great examiner come in, and I like his teaching style. I think they're a really good school. There was another couple of schools dotted around. I'd start there and do a 5-day RYA course with them. And if you get an RYA certificate, you can also get the VHF certificate, and then you've got a license. You can charter boats up to this size in Croatia, up to 30 gross tons. And you can convert that to an ICC by sending 16 quid to the RYA. I'd suggest starting there. That's the one. Lovdo said boat washing loses up thousands of litres of water every day. Yeah, that's it. Lovdo's done that as a job. It's heaps. We have a lot of water here, but it still matters. Where's the last call? Well,
we drink water on board. It's also Sunday when the shops are shut, and it's
that was his main reason. I said, hey,
I had one job.
Look, I'm a commercial skipper, and I'm not drinking on the job. And I said, you can have your beers. I won't be joining you. And so Paul said, okay, I won't join you because all the shops are shut.
Had this been on a Saturday, we'd been on pint 6 by now.
That's the one. That's the one. Awesome. Thank you. Excellent. Good to have questions. There's been a lot of people watching, actually. We've got another 35 viewers that have kicked on right now. So
okay.
No, it really is just it's a fantastic place. I've sailed. I haven't sailed everywhere. I've sailed a lot of New Zealand, through the Sounds, Queen Charlotte Sounds, Doubtful Sound, all this, and Bay of Islands, and down the coast and things. I've sailed in Australia, out of Sydney and up to Newcastle, and up to Pittwater and all this stuff. I've not done a lot of sailing in Australia, so I don't have that. I have not done the Whitsundays, so I can't comment on that. China, where else? The Caribbean. I've done a whole arc of the Caribbean from the BVI all the way down to Trinidad, Venezuela. I've done all the coast of Spain, Portugal, Italy, France, that other place. I've done all of the coast of France. I've done through Amsterdam, this area, Gibraltar. I'd like to, Croatia is my favorite place to sail. All right, to cruise around and see these islands, that is my favorite at the moment. So why is it my favorite? Being able to sail always being able to find somewhere sheltered and beautiful. I get seasick. I'm a professional sailor that gets seasick.
Seriously?
100%. Mahina and I both, we get chronic, probably worse than most of our guests. They'd never know it.
Yeah.
But it makes us very sympathetic to those that get seasick. And that's one of the big things that a lot of parents are worried about when they come on the trips. And so the fact that we know, I've been debilitatingly seasick before, and I have to deal with it. All right. But we know how to help people. We know how to make it not happen. But from me, from a personal point of view, I can sail fast, I can be out in the waves, and I can find shelter within 2 hours. And I love that. There's always somewhere to hide in Croatia. And it's beautiful like that. It's, Tracy said the North Sea. I sailed through the English Channel, from Amsterdam, right through Amsterdam, and then down into France through the English Channel. Absolute horrid place. I didn't sail the English side, so but I didn't enjoy it.
French side, obviously.
Yeah. But whatever. So
wonderful.
Yeah. No, it's it really is a fantastic place. So and look, we can find charters. If you need a cheap charter, there's ways to get cheap charters, and you use the internet. Everyone knows how to use the internet for that. Find the biggest agent, and they're cutting all the prices. If you want quality charters and you want this help and this personalized service, we're here for that, 100%, and we want to help you. So get in touch with us for that if you want to do that. But come to Croatia. There is all sorts, and you can do it on a budget if you want to. You've just got to know that you're going to cut corners, and you're going to cut things like air conditioning, which is fine for some, and yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Nick and Anna. I don't think we'll find better ambassadors for sailing in Croatia than these two, and I think you've seen the passion that they have for their job. That's the first episode of Croatia 2024, Where to Go and What to Do. And we'll be back with another guest, hopefully as cool as Nick, but can't guarantee it, sometime soon. Thank you for watching.
Excellent. Do you want to answer that last question, or
No,
should I just cut him off? You talked about winter tourism, but in your opinion, what would be needed to make it happen in a reality?
Well, this is a topic we could go on for quite a while about. I think winter tourism in general. So before the war, in 1991, they used to have 12-month tourism in Split and around, and they would have Americans coming for 6 weeks, and they would come for the nature, the food, the culture, all things which still exist today. And we had an initiative a couple of years ago to do to try and get winter flights into Split, because if you don't have the flights, it's pretty hard. But then what you need to do if you have the flights is you need to have the content. And we had a seminar with all the sort of various stakeholders. And there is interest, but it takes a lot of people to pull. And because tourism is going so well in terms of income, not necessarily in terms of strategy.
What strategy?
So in places like Split, what happens here in Dalmatia is, people earn very, very well for 6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
And then they're tired and they want to have a break. And actually, a lot of people don't want to have 12-month tourism just because they want to sit and pick their olives and drink coffee on the river and complain.
Which is part of the reason why this country is amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want to quell that.
Yeah.
And I do think there is a strategy to be had.
Yeah.
And as you said, it starts with flights.
Yeah, it needs. I mean, the whole thing needs a fundamental overhaul in terms of strategy, especially Split. But yeah, I mean, Split in winter is a lovely place to come. I love places on the coast in winter because they're so empty, and they're stripped back to their. But the best time to go to Dubrovnik, in my opinion, is February the 3rd, and this is the festival of St. Blaise, who's the patron saint. And basically, this is a day where in the middle of winter, you have all the local people coming out in their traditional dress. That you have all these processions going on. All the main restaurants and cafes, they're mostly closed, and so all the awnings have gone away, all the outside tables have gone away, and you see this amazing city stripped back to its original stone, filled with local people observing this tradition. It's magical. It's way, way better than any other time I've been to Dubrovnik, February the 3rd. So there are, if you come in winter, there's definitely stuff to do. It is a lot quieter.
Yeah.
But in order for it to really sort of take off a bit more, it would need the flights and some content.
Yeah.
And all the stakeholders on the same page, which is the challenge in Croatia always.
I mean, you look at inland stuff like going to Plitvice in the winter.
Yeah.
And walking around in the snow with no one else.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And there's so many more places like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
And where do we go down to? Went south by there's the Red Lake and there's the other lake. Imotski. That was a really cool spot as well. Yeah.
And all these things are just half an hour or an hour from Split inland.
Trogir in winter is so much better than Zagreb. Coming from someone who lived in Zagreb for the past
Zagreb
6 years.
is king. I'm sorry. Zagreb is king.
All right.
Trogir is wonderful to visit, but Zagreb's amazing.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this little shot of our view out of our front windscreen and the sunset. And if you want to come on a holiday in Croatia, do it. You don't even need us. But if you want help, talk to us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you, Paul. Always good to hang out. And next time we'll drink the beers. All right. Off the boat. Well, on the boat, but when the boat's not going to move. Ciao.
Ciao.
Vidimos.